AITAH for talking to a girl in bikini on a beach. My wife 35F is making me 37M write this post. She feels my behavior during our vacation was completely inappropriate, while I think that it was completely acceptable, and she is wrong. She loves this subreddit and wants for all of you to weigh in on our debate and solve this issue for us.we have been married for 7 years and have a 3-year-old toddler. A few weeks ago, we went to Miami for a vacation and had a fun time. On the second day on the beach, we were relaxing on the beach chairs. My son and I were playing on the beach, while my wife was soaking in the sun. I must add here that I love her very much, and she is the most beautiful person I have ever laid eyes on. At one point, my son wanted to build a sand castle, and I took him to the wet sand near the water with all his plastic toys. While he was playing, a lady mid-30s walked up to us and told me how cute my son is. I smiled and said thanks. She was looking towards the water constantly, and I think her kids must be in the water and she was watching them. Now, according to my wife, she was wearing a completely inappropriate, over-the-top bikini that left nothing for imagination. According to me, I did not notice what she was wearing and have no comments. She was trying to make small talk and was asking me about my son's name, how old he is, where we are from, etc. I was also polite and had a brief conversation with her. We talked about where we are from, how long we were in Miami, etc. Finally, my son had enough and he wanted to go back. So I said bye and came back and sat next to my wife. The whole conversation may have lasted for less than 10 minutes. My wife was not happy with me talking to this lady. She kept on telling me how inappropriate it was to talk to that girl in the tiny bikini and that she was trying to flirt with me. I told her what we talked about and it was not even remotely flirty. I told her that this is common, and when my son is with me in the park or other places, he gets a lot of attention from other moms and they always come and have a chat. My wife has seen this play out before and never had a problem with it. My wife thinks that this is different because that girl was in a very revealing bikini, and I as a married man should know better than talking to her. We saw that lady a few other times during our stay, and I cut our conversation short every time she tried to talk to me. My wife cannot let this go. She thinks that I should admit that it's different to talk to a girl in a social setting vs when she is in a bikini on a beach. I feel having small talk with someone is fine irrespective of their state of dress or undress. So, dear Reddit forum, please settle this debate for us. Is my wife correct that I am the asshole for talking to a girl when she is wearing a bikini, or she is being unfair to that lady when she was wearing an appropriate outfit for the place where she was? Note that my wife will also be reading the replies, so please be nice when telling her how wrong she is. Wife here, I think he wrote this post omitting key details. The girl on beach was clearly flirting and leaning too close to him. She may not have said it explicitly, but you could see she was interested. She also kept on popping up in resort restaurant, bar and lobby after this incident and tried to keep on talking him through the week. It was disrespectful as she did not say a single word to me the whole time. I am not saying my husband was flirting with her, but he should have read her body language and shut her down. Plus, there is bikinis and there was her bikini. Something with her was clearly off. First comment, very well. This one makes me cringe to this day, and my fiance always chuckles whenever she's reminded of it. When I was in college, I was friends with a girl who many thought I was dating. I was not, but all my friends were telling me that she was into me. I kept telling them that they were crazy. One time she invited me to her house to study. She lived by the campus, and it wasn't the first time it happened. Anyways, a few hours into our session, she mentions that she's getting tired, bored, and goes to her room to change. She comes back wearing some really short shorts while wearing a Star Wars shirt that may have been a size or two smaller than normal, so it was really highlighting some features. Now the funny thing was, while I liked Star Wars, I was pretty sure at the time that she didn't like Star Wars at all, but she definitely knew I liked it. Weird, but hey, a shirt's a shirt, right? Anyways, if that wasn't bad enough, it gets worse. One of her roommates decided to suddenly leave on an errand. It was almost midnight, and my friend suddenly asked if I wanted to come up to her room to give her other roommate downstairs a break. How did I reply to this wonderful offer? Nah, it's getting late anyways. See you tomorrow. Fiance bursted out laughing the first time she heard this story. She laughed even harder soon after, because that was the moment when I realized that, 6 years after that incident, said friend likely invited me upstairs to study human anatomy. Edit grammar adjustments. Second comment, or NTA. It is up to your own dynamics. Husband, you know if the woman was flirtatious or not. You know if your wife is pointing out a fact or exaggerating things, just providing an alternative. My son wanted to make a sandcastle, so we went near the sea. Then a guy who was wearing a short approached me. He initiated small talk. asking my son's name, where I am from, my trip details. I didn't give much attention to his appearance, but he kept talking for around 10 minutes until my son got bored and we returned. My husband asked me why I spoke with the guy that was obviously flirting with me. Husband added that the guy was wearing an extremely revealing outfit. I said we were at the beach, of course he would wear as such. But my husband insisted that the guy was puffing his six-packs and biceps intentionally, and his shorts were leaving nothing to imagination. Husband blamed me for not reading guy's intentions. Husband here, I should add that the guy popped up every location we're at, lobby, bar, etc., and all the time tried to chat with my wife while totally ignoring me. Third comment, this is a mixed bag. First, do not give out anything other than vague generalities about your kid to a stranger, man or woman. I don't know how much you talked about, but don't say where you're staying or what your plans are. You never saw her with kids. Second, don't talk to a woman, no matter what she's wearing, who completely ignores your wife, standing right next to you. It doesn't matter if she's wearing a puffy jacket or string bikini. It's disrespectful of your wife, and you allowed it. For instance, if a server keeps chatting with you and refilling your coffee while totally ignoring your wife, who can't get a refill, do not allow that. It's normal for a stranger to say, "Your kid is so cute," or "Can you believe this weather," while walking past, stopping to chit-chat with a strange man while snubbing his wife, and then coming up to you repeatedly in other locations like she knew you, was over-friendly, at least. Did you cut your conversation short with this woman when she kept coming up to you, still snubbing your wife, later indicate that you found her forward as well? Or did you only do that to appease your wife? Your wife told you she felt disrespected. You responded by calling her insecure. This woman was a total stranger. If your wife hadn't been there one of those times when you bumped into her later, would she have asked for your number? Sounds like a possibility. Your wife's feelings matter more than some stranger. Your wife just had a baby 3 years ago. Maybe she is feeling insecure. As her life mate, you should boost her confidence, not blow her off. You would have had a completely different experience if, when that woman talked to you, you'd put your arm around your wife and said that you and your wife were having a wonderful vacation. Would you like it if some ripped guy chatted with your wife, pretending you weren't there, and then kept coming up to her at different locations, still ignoring you? All you had to do was make a move to show your wife that you were hers and not interested in anyone else. Hold your wife's hand when that other woman came up, or nod and keep walking. Your wife wanted reassurance from you, but that's not what you gave her. 20-year-olds on Reddit will mock your wife for insecurity. That's not great marital advice. Since you didn't respond to someone who probably was showing interest the way your wife wanted, then when she brought it up, you should have said, "I'm sorry I made you feel disrespected. I love you and don't want anyone but you. What would you like me to do in this scenario, or if she comes up to us again?" It doesn't really matter if that woman wanted you or was just really, really friendly. Your wife felt disrespected and then blown off. Her feelings should matter to you. AITAH. Because you allowed another woman to chat with you while ignoring your wife, that woman kept coming up to you because you opened that door, and then you dismissed your wife's feelings about it. Women who are still single in their 30s can begin to look at happily married men with a predatory eye. They want the life they see. This is an easy fix, but instead you came to internet strangers for validation that you shouldn't change a thing.